Hey everyone. So hurricane season just started, June 1st, 2012, and I say thank God. We really need some hurricanes around here to cool things down here in Florida. I mean, I already have my hurricane survival kit, and I'm pretty much ready for the next storm to come. Now I'm going to share with you the most important essential items that you need for your hurricane survival kit. Just so you know, these tips are not just good for people here in Florida. I mean, these can be used for any type of disaster. Any type of natural disaster you can use these hurricane survival tips for. I mean, from volcanoes, to earthquakes, to mother-in-law visits. I mean, any type of natural disaster. Now, most people will tell you that the most important thing to have in your hurricane survival kit is this. Bottled water. They tell you that you need it to stay hydrated, and then do things like take baths and stuff, and wash dishes. Now I'm going to tell you that that is nothing but a lie. That is not the most important thing in your hurricane survival kit. Not at all. That's just some lie the bottled water companies made up to basically make you go broke at hurricane time, and to catch cancer and die, because you can catch cancer from the plastic in the bottles. No, friends, avoid bottled water altogether. I want to show you something even more important. This right here. This, my friends, is wine. And it's the most important thing in your hurricane survival kit. This year, when Hurricane Debbie shows up on your doorstep, just take a whole bottle of this, and you'll have the best night's sleep of your life. In fact, if you get the bright stuff, you might sleep for a couple of days. And you can just skip right past that whole keeping hydrated stuff and, taking baths and stuff. You don't even have to worry about that. Yeah, your only concern when you wake up is, why do I have this horrible headache? Or, why is this tree laying on top of me? Now, the second most important thing in your hurricane survival kit for this hurricane season is this. That's right, the iPhone. Because as soon as you wake up from your wine-induced coma, you're going to be pretty bored and pretty lonely. So it's provided that you've kept this thing off while you were sleeping, you're actually going to have something to do. Because with no electricity, you're going to have to do something. And with all the cell phone towers down and everything, I mean, you can just forget about calling 911 because they're probably all dead anyway. But you won't have to worry about like telemarketers or anybody calling you. No annoying phone calls in the night. So you can focus on more important things. Now, the next most important thing for you to have in your hurricane survival kit, especially if you're trapped in the wreckage of your house or your trailer home and you're by yourself and you're all alone and your batteries have died on your iPhone, which, let's face it, if you got the 4S, it's probably going to be about 30 minutes after you wake up from that wine-induced coma. I mean, you're going to be bored and lonely, and let's face it, Grindr's not going to work without a cell phone. For this is your next best friend. Not reading material. It's porn. See? Porn. Porn is your next best friend in a hurricane. That should be in your hurricane survival. Let's face it, I mean, it's going to be a pretty good distraction. I mean, it's going to keep your mind off of the wind and the rain and the thunder and the crumbling of your living room walls. I mean, if you've got a really good imagination, then you can pretend that the screaming and the howling of the wind is just a very vocal bottom. Or if you're a straight guy, a woman. If you're a straight woman, a very vocal guy. If you're a lesbian, well, I don't have anything for you. Of course, no, I wouldn't know about any of these things personally myself. I mean, I don't even have any porn. I don't have a porn collection of my own, so I wouldn't know anything about any of this. I mean, that should be obvious because I'm just using a a book with a suggestive title to kind of get my point across, because, well, I just don't have porn because I'm a Christian. You know, we just don't do those kinds of things that often. Anyway, back to our hurricane survival kit. Now, let's just say that you're not by yourself. Let's say you're actually stuck at home, trapped, stranded in with loved ones, family, friends, you know. Then you're going to need some other type of entertainment. Now, some people suggest that, you know, just playing cards will do fine. You know, just play poker all night. I think that's boring and stupid. My personal opinion, activities that engage communication and open lines of communication between loved ones is important in a natural disaster situation. So therefore, especially if you have children, it might be more conducive to have some sort of game that allows them to, you know, get their fears out. You know, just let it all out. Just get it out of the way, so that you can focus on more important things like loving one another and being there for each other. Hurricanes can be pretty traumatic, especially if you have children. I mean, the children are going to be so afraid, and they're going to be asking all kinds of questions. Like, why is God destroying the world? And, you know, why is that car floating down the street? You know, why is the sky crying? Maybe they're crying and they're upset because they're worried and scared for, you know, Uncle John and Aunt Linda, who didn't make it to the shelter in time before the storm hit. In those situations, I suggest this form of entertainment. This way, the children will know that Uncle John and Aunt Linda are going to be fine, because they can communicate with them. Most people don't realize that this is the most reliable form of communication when a Category 5 is bearing down on your hometown. And finally, the last thing that you need in your hurricane survival kit is this. What is this miraculous life-saving piece of equipment, you ask? Well, I'm going to tell you. Right now, I have no clue how you're going to use this in a hurricane survival kit. Have absolutely no clue. I hope you don't have epilepsy, by the way. Sorry, I apologize. I should have warned you in advance. But one disaster to another. I mean, honestly, I don't know what in the world you could use this for in a hurricane other than to mess up your green screen behind me like it's going to do in this video. Or summon Lady Gaga. Perhaps it will just bring back pleasant memories of happier days, like when G-Bar wasn't 20 feet underwater. Hell, let's face it, in a Category 5 hurricane, I'm sure you're going to figure out some way to make a disco stick work for you. I mean, you're screwed anyway. I'm sure there's a practical use for this. Like going blind. Well, that's all I have for this vlog, folks. Have a happy hurricane season, and stay safe, folks. Keep your hurricane survival kit close by. And for more practical tips on actually how to stay safe during a hurricane, go to the FEMA blog at blog.fema.gov for more lighthearted, but serious take at how you should actually prepare for hurricanes. Subscribe, comment, reblog, and share. Check me out on Tumblr, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And leave me comments and suggestions for what you would like to see in the next video. No matter how random it is, I'm going to take all suggestions. Until next time, adios, folks.